Laine, how did you find carnivore?
Well, for me, it started about 2 years ago when it. I saw Dr. Chafee on an interview. It was I don't know, it was a news show or a TV newscast or something, and he started talking about what he had for breakfast, and it was short ribs and all kinds of this stuff. And of course, being in the environment I'm in and the one we've all been raised in, I thought it was absolutely ludicrous. So I didn't even listen to the whole thing. I just shut it off. And then a few months later, a friend of mine told me he had done that and he had put a glucose monitor on. And he's like, I know what works for me. And I mean, he doesn't always a carnivore, but uh, because of that, I thought, well, maybe I'll take a look into it. So it took me several months. I actually looked into it and I just made a decision. One day I called my wife. It was the end of the day. She was at Aldi getting ready to go to buy our groceries for the next 2 weeks. And I called her up and I said, I'm starting carnivore tonight. Like not tomorrow, like tonight. So she said, "Good thing you called me because I was just about to go in and spend a, a lot of money on groceries."
I was just about to buy you a salad.
Yeah, that was probably it, right? And so yeah, so that night I started, and that was just over a year and a half ago. So it was May 16th, 2024. Yeah. So.
And did you struggle at first? And like, at what point did you kind of go, "Oh, this is definitely the way I should be eating"?
So I didn't struggle at all, actually. It was just easier for me, and when the time came to cook dinner, it was just me. I was cooking, so eventually I bought a sous vide so that I could cook while I was gone to work all day, and then just come home and barbecue real quick. Um, the first 4 months actually were easier for me. Like they were literally the easiest for me. Of course, I might be different than most people, but for me, first 4 months was the easiest. I feel like I have more of a hard time now for some reason, but yeah, the first 4 months went really quick, and that's when I lost all the weight that I had to lose was in the first 4 months. I was 213. I went down to 159,
Wow. And how tall are you?
5'9".
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
a massive drop.
I think in 4 months, yeah, and to be honest, the first month I lost a pound a day. I lost 27 pounds in the first month. Yeah, I actually went to the doctor 3 weeks in because I wanted to get a baseline. I was already too late. By the time I was down 21 pounds by the time I got to the doctor. So yeah, I have a great story about the doctor, but I mean, I wasn't very healthy. I wasn't really unhealthy. Like I was functioning. I was going to work. I was doing all the things. I was tired all the time. Sometimes if I had to drive more than an hour to or from work, I might have to take a nap on the way home, just to get home safely. But now I know why. I know why, because I was metabolically sick.
Mm.
Like, no question.
Was that affecting you in other ways? So it was making you feel like you needed to sleep or making you feel tired, but was there anything else? Like, did you have any pains or anything like that?
Yeah, I was always in pain, arthritic type feeling. My blood pressure was on two occasions went to 235 over 185 on two occasions. Yeah, so obviously I was on medicine. I was on three different medicines. Two of them I took twice a day, so just like 5 rounds of blood pressure medicines just to keep me in the 140 and 90s kind of area. So that was one of the big ones. Yeah.
So is this how the story of your doctor ties into this? Like, is your blood pressure now in range or?
Yeah, 3 weeks in, I was getting dizzy. Right? We had to titrate off some of my meds, and we just kept titrating and titrating until today. I'm still taking half of one lisinopril compared to what I used to take. So I can't seem to kick that one. I try to not take it, and then it just my blood pressure goes up. So
Right.
I can't get rid of that one.
Yeah, and so what's your doctor's reaction been to that?
My I have a great doctor. Yeah, I have a great doctor. So the story of the doctor is I went in, and yet there's an intake nurse, right? She puts you on the scale and she weighs you and takes you in and types a bunch of stuff in and takes your blood pressure. And so I said to her, did you notice my weight? Because she didn't say anything. And, she did. Maybe she just didn't think about it. And she's like, oh no. So she went into the computer and she looked and she went, oh, you've lost like 20 pounds. I said, 21 actually. And she's like, and then she said, well, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm doing the carnivore diet. My dad is doing the carnivore diet. She said, for how long? 7.5 months. So I asked her, why did he do it? Like what made him decide he's going to try the carnivore diet? And similar story to most people, he had problems, but his were pretty bad. I mean, he was on 6 shots of insulin a day. He had Parkinson's. He couldn't walk with a normal gait. He shuffled. Blood pressure. She said he had all the things, like just all the things. And I said, how is he doing now? So we're talking 7.5 months in. She said, well, he no longer is on any diabetes medicine. All his medicines are off. He's off all his medicines. He used to get gout and all the things. And I said, wow, that's awesome. So I'll fast forward now, the doctor comes in. And he sits down and, they're just looking at their computers now, right? Typing things in. And and I said to him, did you notice my weight? And he's like, no. So he did the same thing as the nurse. He's like, let me check. So he checked. He went, wow, you've lost some weight. What are you doing? I said, all right, are you ready? So I'm going to tell you. He's like, all right, go ahead, tell me. I said, I'm doing the carnivore diet. I said, go ahead. Let the lecture begin. That's what I said to him. And he's like, don't get a lecture from me on the carnivore diet. I said, really? He's like, yeah, I have a patient. And he came in with a big lesion on his toe. And so he asked this patient, how'd you get that lesion on your toe? What were you doing? He's like, well, I drove to Florida. I went jet skiing with my buddies and I hit something in the water and, I got this big lesion on my toe. I said, really? Is that your nurse's dad? And he went, yeah. How'd you know? So think of that guy with Parkinson's, diabetes, all these things. I mean, he couldn't even walk. Now he's driving himself to Florida and going jet skiing. That's straight from a doctor.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And so I thought, wow, obviously I'm not going to stop yet, right? I was 3 weeks in and lost 21 pounds and felt better, of course. I mean, all the things everybody talks about. I was sleeping better. I stopped snoring. My blood pressure was going down. I had gout. I have other things like Crohn's. I have Crohn's disease. So I haven't been able to reverse that 100%. I'm about 50% better, I would say. Yeah, in a year and a half. And, I know some people reverse it in 6 months to a year sometimes, but yeah, mine's being a little bit stubborn. So I'll just keep going.
It's a good sign that it's improving though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I mean, what would I rather have, this at 50% better or back at 100% bad? I mean, of course, I'd rather be better. So then actually I just went last week to get my blood test done again. And I am pretty much, everything is in a normal level. My thyroid, my TSH level went way up, but that's because I started taking probably too much iodine or something. Because I've never had a higher problematic TSH. And my B12 is through the roof, which for somebody with Crohn's, that just doesn't happen. But of course, I'm just supplementing now. I found something that if you use this type of supplement, you can increase your B12. So, and I also had 2 feet of intestine removed when I was 22. So it's bad. It's bad because it's the one. There's 1 foot of intestine from your yes, intestine from your appendix towards your stomach. 12 inches of that. If that's not there, you have a hard time absorbing B12.
Right.
And
Wow.
so that's gone. That part's
Mm.
gone.
I see. And that was related to the Crohn's. So that
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And
So
after they did that, did you see any improvement?
I was in remission till 37. So that was 22 to 37. So I had 15 good years there. But I had 17 to 22 was pretty miserable, and they just couldn't control it with medicine. Of course, I mean, we know that doesn't work anyway. And, we're talking a long time ago in the 80s. So they didn't have biologics or anything like that. Back then, I probably would have tried that. I would have taken that. But um, today, I won't. I went for a colonoscopy a year ago, and he wanted to put me on biologics. I said, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, that whenever I've heard people start talking about biologics, it's always quite scary, and including as a person who used to work within pharmaceutical companies as a contractor, when I hear it talked about, always sounds scary, very expensive, and you basically once you start, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was told. Yeah, like you can't stop it. Um, so I think honestly, one way or another, I think I'll be able to somehow improve it even more. Just doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. So at this stage, how was your eating day today?
So how I eat, sometimes I have breakfast. Usually I don't. Um, I'm off of alcohol. I'm off of any type of like I used to. Well, back in the day, I would have 4 Cokes and 2 energy drinks every day. I mean, that was just kind of a daily routine for me. And I'd still have to take a nap on the way home. And today, when I would go to work, I'm work what an hour and a half to 2 hours. Sometimes I'm driving one way just for work, and I don't stop any. I don't need to stop. I just keep going there, work, come home, like, no problem. Not like before. Not like before at all. Um, yeah. So I mean, I had gout before. I had tennis elbow, carpal tunnel, uh, trigger finger, like I mean, just all these little things that just kind of get in the way of your life, and they're just all gone. Everything's going back to normal the way it should be.
And it's all these little things that improve that really make you make you convinced this is the way we should be eating,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people start it for things like losing weight or and that's I mean, if it's a goal, everyone has to have a goal. You got to have a starting place. But then you start noticing all the other things, even just snoring, just stopping snoring. So now you're going to sleep better. We know what that's going to do for your body. Sleeping better is just going to improve everything. Um, my, well, here's the best part. You ready? Here's the best part. My hair is growing back. There.
Oh, and wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. You didn't know me before, but yeah, and I keep it really short until the time comes when I go, okay, it's back, and then I'll let it grow out, and then
Right,
I'll I'll,
right.
I'll let it grow out, and then I'll shave my beard, and people go, hey, you shaved your beard, and I'm like, yep, that's what I did.
Yeah, that was one of the most astonishing things for me as well, is to notice like, hey, hang on, I never had so much hair in this what was
Yeah,
becoming a reasonably pronounced bald spot before, and it's like the hair's coming back.
yeah, yeah. The mitochondria is being fed properly, and and blood flow. You know, all the little vessels and veins are working properly again. So it all works. It all works. Everything's working. I mean, my vascular health is huge. My veins are popping out again, like just like it was when I was 20. Yeah.
And you've maintained that weight loss that you initially achieved?
Yeah, so I'm technically in the like 165 ish area. So yeah, pretty
But
much.
that and that's really good for your height, right?
Are you asking? Are you telling?
Oh,
No, I know. It is. It is. Of course, it's very
um,
good.
yeah, because myself, I'm hovering around the same, and we're
Hmm.
similar height. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's like just the best and most comfortable I've ever felt in my life in
yeah,
my clothes. You know.
yeah, yeah. I went from XL to medium. I saw a guy you had a month ago. He went down to XS, right? Extra small. I was like, yeah, yeah. I hope I don't. Hope that doesn't happen. But we have broader shoulders, maybe, or something. I don't know. It's all good. It's all good. Whatever's when you go on the carnivore diet, you're going to go where you should be. That's my opinion. And so, if I'm supposed to be 165, then I can't say, "Oh, I wish I was 155." No, you're 165. That's where you should be. Your body knows.
Yeah. Um, how do family feel about this?
So my wife was fine with it from day one. Early on, she did it for about a month, and like I said earlier, most of the time I do the cooking when I come home from work. So unless she wants something else, then she's having steak. So I'm not cooking rice and beans. I'm cooking steak, and I'm eating. And sometimes she does. Sometimes she just needs variety. But about a month and a half ago, she gave it a try for 3 months. She said, "I'm going to do it for 3 straight months." So we're in the middle of that right now. Yeah.
Nice. Have you had any feedback from anyone like kind of criticizing or being like, this sounds very strange?
I have some pretty good friends. So they didn't criticize, but, didn't necessarily agree. Well, you have Crohn's, you should have fiber. Okay. How about, what about, you need carbohydrates for energy and all these things, right? But they didn't criticize. They're just like, well, you're not eating these other things. How are you getting by? Uh, Now, I did have a friend come last March, and he stayed with me for a week. And he said to me, "Don't worry about me. Just whatever you eat, that's how I'll eat while I'm there. I'm just there for a week." And he's still a carnivore today. Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, yeah. So I'm in Kentucky, and he's in Toronto. He came down for that week, and he went back home. And I mean, he went out to a wedding for 1 week, and he ate the normal things, and the fat lines came back on his face, and he just said he didn't like that at all.
Right. So I'm not an expert in North American accents, but your accent doesn't sound as I'd imagine someone from Kentucky to sound.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. That's why. Yeah,
Okay.
makes all the sense now, right?
Wow. And what's it like in Kentucky as far as access to meat and stuff?
So if you've ever heard Dr. Barry talk about a store called Save a Lot, so he's in Tennessee, which is just south of us. So we have that same store here, and that's where I get my meat. I just go to Save a Lot. I actually tried, uh, and it's the strangest thing because before I could eat it, but now I can't eat the grass fed, grass finished stuff. It has that taste to it that I can't do. I don't know what it is. Um, but Save a Lot for the most, and I told you how much I travel. I'll pass by two or three different Save a Lots owned by two or three different owners in any given week, and I go in there just to see what specials they have. So I typically don't eat anything that costs more than $8 a pound over here. So yeah, I'm eating on the cheap actually.
So is that kind of ground beef, that kind of thing?
No, no, no. I'll get ribeye for $7.99 or $8.99 a pound. T-bones I just got for $5.99 a pound. My other one is New York strip, usually $6.99, $7.99 a pound. But like I said, I have to travel to different save lots to find them. And when I do find them, I try to buy as much as I can and just freeze it. So I vacuum seal it, freeze it right away. Yeah.
Yeah. And are you including eggs with the way you're eating?
At the moment, yeah, I am. So I had
Mm.
probably eight or nine eggs this morning with a little bit of cheese. Um, yeah.
Can you imagine telling someone in the 80s, I'm eating 8 or 9 eggs a day?
Yeah. No, back in the 80s, if you would have said you're eating eight, nine eggs, they would have had a heart attack, not me.
Right. And so are you just eating that in one meal?
Yeah, the eight or nine eggs. Oh, yeah, that would be a breakfast or a lunch,
Mm.
depending on if I'm at home that day or if I'm out working. I'll uh, I'll do that. And there's actually a place between here and one of my jobs that I go. I can get eggs cooked up for me for 50 cents an egg. So I'm pretty happy about that.
And then you come home and you've got the sous vide steaks that you can just put on the grill and
On the grill, yeah. Yeah. And then if so I usually typically buy a roast too. So I do a like a chuck roast and I'll put that in the crock pot at night and then that'll be my lunch for tomorrow and the next day. So I eat it hot one day and then the next day I have it cold. I, yeah, just bring it with me cold. I think it actually tastes better cold.
interesting. And is anyone astounded that a year and a half in you still haven't got scurvy?
Yeah. Nobody's ever mentioned scurvy, but I know, I know that's a common one. I just maybe I have intelligent friends, but they've never they've never mentioned the name scurvy before. I do have quite a few people that notice though. I mean, there are a lot. I mean, everybody notices. And I have some other friends too who have lost some weight doing other things. Yeah, no, mine has been constant for a year and a half.
Mm.
I'm
I
waiting to
think,
see how they do.
yeah, I think the interesting thing about the other ways to lose weight is typically it involves like exercising until you basically can't walk
Right.
or reducing calories,
Yeah.
or both.
Right.
And like carnivore compared to those ways of eating seems to be the only sustainable method of doing it, right? Because you don't have that feeling of lack all the time.
Yeah, you don't have to think about it. I mean, like I said, I come home, it's going to be a ribeye, it's going to be a New York strip, or it's going to be a T-bone. That's what I eat. That's my dinner. It's almost the same every time.
I love the feeling of not biting my nails at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, thinking, what am I going to eat before I go to bed? I've got to have some snack, you know?
Yeah, those are the old days. Those old days are gone. Yeah, and you were talking earlier about in the '80s, people saying, "Oh, you ate eight or nine eggs." If that happened, I remember going to the gym back in the '80s, '90s actually, and this girl said, "Oh, I ate too many carbs. I'm bloated today. I'm fat." And at the time, I just thought to myself, "Well, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Carbs don't make you fat. Fat makes you fat, right?" Like we were so brainwashed back then, so brainwashed.
And it's one of those things that once you see it, you can't unsee it. So when you hear someone saying that, like the opposite of that now, like fat makes you fat, it's just like, no, 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 think about it. Think about it. But of course, we all went through the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the one thing I don't think a lot of people understand is what goes in your mouth doesn't become that thing inside your body. It gets broken down into other things and building blocks or repair mechanisms, and it's just the way food works and your stomach works.
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest problems, I think, whether you believe in this or not, is the concept of calories.
Hmm.
Because it's just such a dumbed down version of what's happening, you know? Like,
Hmm.
so it leads everyone to believe that everything is equal, you know? So 100 calories of chocolate is going to be the same as 100 calories of steak. Well, no, it's not, because your body is going to extract nutrition from whatever you put into it and excrete the rest as waste, or
Right.
lock it away as fat or whatever. So, you know, based on what you put in your mouth, that's how your body's going to be.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. And I'm me and the other 1,400 and whatever interviews you've done. I mean, that's proof of it. In my opinion, it's proof of it. I mean, I know it's not a special randomized controlled placebo. Well, add your words to the end of that, right? Study, but it's just doesn't it works for me, and it works for all 1,400 of those people.
Yeah, and the thing when you talk about nutrition, quote unquote science, is that none of it is anyway, right? It's
Hmm.
all just food frequency questionnaires and that kind of thing. So in reality, what's to say that's any more scientific than interviewing people with real life experience, you know?
Yeah, almost in real time, as opposed to would last week, last month, last year, 5 years, 10 years. Like you can't get accurate
Yeah.
information.
2 years ago, did you eat meat?
Yes.
I think I had McDonald's on that Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We all have
Yeah.
perfect minds.
Mm. So at this stage, it's carnivore all the way for you?
At this stage, yeah. 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 I have no plans on changing at the moment. I mean, I have no reason to. Like you said, I don't have scurvy. I don't haven't died. I don't, I'm still kicking and my hair is growing back. So yeah, I want to live long enough to see how that goes.
Yeah. If your hair's growing back, that's also, you're still alive and your hair's growing back. That's a good sign that
It's a
you're
very
on the
good
right path.
sign. Yeah. 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 I think so.
Yeah. Um, so if one of your friends came to you and said, okay, Laine, tell me, what do I do? I want to try this for 90 days. Based on your experience, what advice or tips would you give them?
Well, I mean, everybody is different, right? I jumped right in. Like, and you heard my diet. I mean, I was on the sad diet and I was 4 Cokes, rum at night, sometimes 2 energy drinks a day. I mean, I was full of oxalates. I know because I woke up one day and my eyes were glued shut. Like they were lit. I couldn't open my eyes. I was just dumping for a few days there. And I mean, I didn't know what it was at the time. I thought I had an eye infection. But a couple weeks later, I heard somebody talking about how that was part of oxalate dumping. So, but it just depends on the diet you're on now, what you're doing now. Some people say, kind of ease into it a bit, and some people just jump in. I jumped in. That's the kind of personality I had to do. I had to jump in. If I didn't jump in, I probably would have just kept making mistakes or, um, you know, not taking it seriously enough. And I know there can be consequences for that to some people, but for the most part, I jumped in. And so if you think you could jump in, it's probably the easiest for you. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm much the same. I'm either doing carnivore or I'm not. I'm a smoker or I'm not. I'm a drinker or
Yeah.
I'm not. It's just
Yeah.
I've got to just take the plunge.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, do some research for, like, I've talked to many people about this and I said, listen, I'm not telling you what to do because then, that'll fall back on me later. Right. So I was like, just do your research. Here's some people you can watch. I said, you'll end up going down a rabbit hole and that's good. It won't hurt you, but do your research. And if you do your research and you come to understand what you want to do, you'll come up with your own plan. Right. I said, this is what I do. At night, I come home, I cook a steak. While I'm doing that, I put chuck roast in the pot in the slow cooker. It cooks overnight. That's my lunch tomorrow. If I wake up hungry, I eat. If I don't, then I'm not. Then I go to work. Now have my roast at lunch, and that's as simple as that.
Yeah, nice flexible lifestyle. Laine, if people want to reach out to you, do you have any way of getting in contact?
Um, that's my email, Laine K Penny, and just do it at Gmail.
Awesome. I'll link to your email in the show notes. Um, Laine, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, well, thanks for all you do. I know a lot of people are being helped by what we're talking about here, so it's just going to benefit people, and that's a good thing.